Hello everybody. I know it has been quite some time since my last upload, and I have certainly noticed the requests for me to put up Hellspawn, which is Spawn version 3 matches showing what I had said about this variation in action. I know people wanted this a while ago, but honestly it took me quite some time to get to a place where I felt strong with Hellspawn. He's a very interesting character, and I feel like he takes some work to learn, which I like, but it did mean that I had to grind for some time, and then COVID unfortunately happened, unfortunately for the world, and that did not give me more free time. I had been busier for quite some time because of that, but with the Aftermath expansion dropping, you can see an Aftermath stage background right here. I had to upload the videos that I had made previously. So the videos, these match videos that you are about to see, are pre-patch, but they're still very much what your game plan is going to be, because Spawn, especially Spawn version 3, did not change a great deal. There was actually a buff to Spawn version 3, which I think a lot of people kind of glossed over, didn't realize. It doesn't sound like much if you read the patch notes. It says slightly reduce the gravity on the hit reaction to upheld chains. Upheld chains is this, where it goes up. You hear slightly reduced gravity, and we're like, slightly, what does that matter? What matters is, even against a female character, this is why I've got Cassie on screen. Females have smaller hitboxes, as do some other characters. Even against Cassie, and it is tight against female hitboxes. Now, you can do a 1-1 after this. And you might say, why does that matter? Like, why do I care about that? Well, it matters because you can do this now. Okay, and yeah, sure, that took me a couple, because like I said, it's a little tighter against Cassie, and you might say, like, why was a button not even coming out? I was pressing the 1-1 too soon. I was anticipating like I could press a button, but I couldn't yet. But with practice, you can get it. This is a brand new thing, so I haven't done much of it. But as soon as I saw that patch note, I was like, could it be? And I went into training mode, and I lost it, because it's amazing, because now off of any hit, whether it's a 1-1, whether you're doing forward 2-1, whether you're doing forward 4, any of these, all of these combos now are letting you launch into 1-1, into chain grab. And you might say, like, okay, why is that such a huge deal? Well, previously, as I showed in my other video, when I said, I think Hellspawn's legit, I showed that the combos you would be doing would generally be like a down 1 into 1-1 War Club. And listen, War Club is all well and good, but that was stopping you from getting your max damage, because with what I'm showing you right here, you can either go into the command grab, which allows you to either get good damage or turn invisible, and being invisible when they're in the corner is amazing, because they can't back away from you, they can't run, right? Oh, it's so nice. Or you can go into this lower hit, which does his max damage, not the crushing blow, it's just the settings that I've got on, but just the regular one here, like that's giving you real good damage as well. So you can do that because of this less gravity that's happening. So this is actually a really nice buff to Hellspawn. So you're not going to see me do any of that in these match videos, because that buff didn't exist, but that's the only difference. All right, like, other than that, your gameplay is identical. Spawn version 3 already had an armor breaker, so that new meta that has now come into being with Aftermath, Spawn already had. So I really hope you enjoy these videos. There's going to be some of me, some of another player who I'll leave unnamed right now. And then at the end, I'll do some closing thoughts. I really hope you enjoy this. It's been a while in the making. I know for some of the matches, when I'm doing commentary, I'm a little low. So if you have any questions about the stuff I'm showing, please feel free to ask. Put them in the comments. Let me know. All right, here is the first match. I'm showing this one because I get to go through all the different options of being invisible, and I know being invisible is the fun part. So first one, being invisible, you see me going for the knee string plus frames, and then I'm going for the back one string right after. Now this time you're going to see me go into it again, but it hits, connects, so I get the combo, which is nice. It gives me a nice health lead here. So basically what you saw there was what to do when they block the plus string, and if anyone's wondering, that string is 2-4. It's that 2-4 string. I want to say it's like 2-4 up 3-2, something like that. Now right here I should have gone for the club as soon as they flipped out. Then right now I should just be doing any string into the low chain, like right there. Just need to go into low chain for the chip out. But I did not. Down one low chain is amazing. Like I said in my previous spawn video, it's so great. And you see me basically losing because I very, very poorly played that end portion. Again, that game was over much earlier. But it's good because I get to show a couple other things there. You have people that aren't used to spawn variation 3 will let go of block where that low hits twice, where they're not even expecting the low. It can totally be interrupted though, so you don't want to do that too much. So again, could have gone for the club immediately after breakaway there. Using the club was a little tricky because some people will wait, you know, for you to be partway through your string and then do it. Other people are breaking away immediately. But now we're going to get to see another invisible. So there you see another option, which is if you think they're going to stand or press a button, basically, you want to do the command grab. Now, obviously, it helped that I was in the corner. But like if you think Scarlet's gonna parry or someone's gonna, you know, like press the low poke like you saw Johnny Cage do, that's when you want to do the grab again. So the options you've seen so far is a blocked 2/4 string, done completion, all four buttons pressed. A hit 2/4 string, which led to the crushing blow, and then you've also seen the raw command grab. And here you're going to see dash up, back 1-2. So those are pretty much all your options, I would say, besides one more when you use invisibility. I would say your last option is to dash up and then jump in with like 1, and then you get to put them in like block pressure, or if you anti-air, then you can go into the 2/4 hit into the command grab and actually get the crushing blow. So the main ones I like to use though to cover the screen is the 2/4 done a completion to either get the crushing blow or get the cross frames, or again if you think they're going to press a button or stand, then you do the command grab. If you think they're going to jump, you do the 2/4 string, because then you'll hit them with a crushing blow, because as long as that third hit, the knee part of the 2/4 up 3 string is connecting, whether it's grounded or airborne, it will lead to the crushing blow, which is pretty great. So that's why I wanted to show this match, because you got to see me do lots of options off of the invisibility. On to the next. Alright, this is against the same Johnny Cage player. Could have really done a punish there. Dash up, 1-1 back 2 to get the crushing blow. Also off of that down 4 you saw me do, definitely a low chain, because nothing can interrupt that. A couple real fast pokes can interrupt if you do down 1 to low chain, but down 4 to low chain, not at all. So classic, you know, Johnny pressure, looking to get me in the corner. Again, most of them aren't ready for the hits off the low chain. And that is the one that really does meaty. So the forward 2 string is pretty slow, but it does work as meaty there. You see me getting risky, they messed up. At any rate, the point here is that getting meaties on Wake Up is tough with version 3 spawn. I would say that's probably one of the main weaknesses this character has. But that is one where you can get it. When you hit with that low chain grab, you can get a meaty forward 2. Also right there, you saw me not wasting the defensive bar and just amplifying the command grab regularly. So you basically hold the amplify briefly and then let go, because if you hold it too long, then you'll do the invisibility version and kill 2 bar, 1 offense, 1 defense. You also see the disadvantage just a little bit ago of going for the forward 2 string, because they can forward roll out of it. But obviously corner combos, huge damage, love it. Okay, right there, another reason I'm showing this is that part is really tough. And what I mean by that is when you hit with the Mace Club and Amplify like against a breakaway and you get a launcher, it launches them very high. And if you're wanting to connect with the grab after it, and you're trying to hit with like 2-1, you really got to hit like the top edge, but not too high, because as you saw the 2-4, the 4-part whiff. So basically, just know that you got a lab connecting properly with after you do a breakaway amplify launcher. You can also do other ones that are easier, like if you do forward 2-1, which is his standard advancing string of forward 2. You can do that after the breakaway launcher, forward 2-1, into just like Mace Club. You can even get it into the chain grab, but it's pretty tough. The command grab, chain grab, not the low chains. But anyway, you saw some spacing happening there. You see how, again, awesome it is to be able to use amplified low chain into explosion to get the spacing and set up, back ones. Obviously, I was going a little ham with the back 1-2s because obviously if they're blocked, full combo punish. But obviously if you connect, you're getting good damage. All right, next against a Garrus player, specifically Infinite Warden, which as you know is still solid, still good. As has been proven by Tweety's runs on Combat League. Obviously, we'll see after Aftermath releases, which is going to be happening in just a handful of hours. Sorry, I had to record these before the update, and then these are no good anymore. Plus, I want to get them out. So there you see me getting risky. I should not be going for that. You don't want to go for the chain command grab until you've seen that the opponent either doesn't have any bar or is not someone who likes breakaway. You see the down one. Low chain really helping me out. By the way, that stance cancel into just like regular up chains, that is completely unsafe. So you only want to, use that on visual hit confirm. You saw me trying to do it in the corner though because spawn v3 does get corner combos. So if you're going in with like forward 2-1 into the Letha stance, into just standard letting it go, and he does like the chains up, you get a combo from that. As always, Spawn's Fireball is amazing, in part because you can wait to amplify so late. You can so bait. So at range, he really does have options if you don't mind some zoning. I mean, this is a quasi zoner variation. It's a weird variation. It's got a lot of different little things that it can do. So there again, if you think they're gonna roll, so yeah, if you think they're gonna do anything, oh, you saw me going for the 2-4 up 3 string, and the downside to it, as you saw, is that it can whiff big. Normally, okay, so I was going to tell you something about a Cabo there, but basically, suffice it to say, oh, I shouldn't have done that, by the way. I shouldn't have done that because the grab, the command grab, the chain command grab, where you turn invisible, it actually does slightly less damage. So if you're just about to kill, you just want to do the single offensive bar. And that way the match would have been over right there. But I was going to say that the downside about doing certain strings that have sort of animations to them, the opponent can see you even when you're invisible. So if you do the 2-4 string up 3 to completion, then they're gonna see some of that motion, and they can go in and punish you. And plus, if it's in the corner, you're just gonna get punished as I did. If they roll forward and it's kind of more mid-screen, you'll be further away, but again, they'll still see it, right? So basically, again, if you think they're going to block or jump, you want to do the 2-4 string. If you think they're going to roll or press a button or do some sort of like stand parry, then you want to do the command grab. If you think that they're going to duck, like crouch block or neutral duck, you want to do the back 1-2 for the overhead. Or again, you can be dashing up, jumping in with jump punch button into like just block pressure. So anyway, that was the downside there and little things. But another match against that Garrus player coming up. All right, second match against the same Garrus player. You see me going a little too loosey-goosey using that back 1-2 string to completion. You should only be doing that on a whiff punish that you're like visually confirming will be a whiff punish. Now that's an interesting fact. If you hit with just the 2 part of the back 1-2, you can get the full like 2-1 command grab. If you hit with both parts, you have to do a modified combo. So you see me doing a little different pressure there since in the corner, like I mentioned before, that jump 1 option. So now you've seen pretty much all options there are. So I really do like the 2-1 up 3 for mid-screen. As you see, you can get that crushing blow. It's so fun to do. I just really get a lot of satisfaction out of hitting that. So that was me trip guarding like I knew that was going to hit. That's why I did a completion here in corner. So you see me kind of like baiting, like waiting. Didn't really do anything. I should have done like a jump 1 to get in. was just wasted really on my part. So now going to get some big damage from this. I think he's going to break away, so I do this. As I mentioned, getting this to connect is a little tricky, but I get it. Feels great. What I'm going to do, so what you saw me try to go for there is a back 1-2, but that's not really a meaty. Like it's not going to hit, as you see, an opponent out of Fatal Blow. The only one that you could maybe a meaty is the 2-1-up-3 string, and you hit with the knee. I've set the computer to down 1, Sub-Zero 6 frame down 1, and I was able to hit with the knee, so that could potentially be breaking that armor, but you know, you got to do it, not breaking the armor, but hitting before the armor starts, if the opponent Fatal Blows. But it's tricky to get that just right. Because you're invisible, so you know you got to be like starting the string immediately. You also saw my down 1 into low chain get interrupted. That's because 6 frame, if they're really on point, they can do that. And by that I mean, like, you know, a Garrus or a Sub-Zero player, if they are immediately doing the down 1 after you've down 1, they can interrupt you. It's weird because I had set the training dummy to do that, but maybe they just weren't doing it immediately. So right there, you see me going for a modified combo. That's because if you hit with both hits of the back 1-2 against an airborne opponent, what you're going to want to do is a down 1. So that's pretty nice. You can see again, just getting lots of mileage out of that. Basically, you saw me turn it visible, go for the back 1-2, connect with it, go into the command grab again, and get the crushing blow. Right there, see, I just changed it. Down 4 into low chain is not interruptible. So that's how you stop a Garrus or Sub-Zero who's trying to interrupt you. So basically, you know, you see me doing a lot with back 1-2, right? As a whiff punish, as an anti-air, as a trip guard, just because it leads to the hotness, right? Which is more damage. And if the opponent isn't breaking away, your command grab to turn invisible. As I mentioned, there's a number of different options you can do when invisible, and I hope you enjoyed, you know, seeing all those different ones. I tried to showcase like all the ones that there were. Again, I don't think that is a way you need to play him. I just enjoy playing him that way. I was lucky enough to check some other, you know, players that I noticed were playing V3 Spawn, namely Full Auto, and it just so happened that when I checked Full Auto's account, he had just played Kerbalicious. So that's what I'm going to move into next, and you'll see a very different play style of Hellspawn, which I think is great. You know, you see me using a particular tool set, and you're going to see Full Auto do some different stuff. So let's watch that next.
Fight.
So I hoped you noticed that Full Auto is using this a bunch because it's amazing. Right? Like, obviously, you said that from the beginning. It's so good. You can see it throughout the entire match. It's just an amazing tool that Spawn Variation 3 has. I'm sure you could also spot the major difference between my neutral and Full Autos, besides Full Autos just being, of course, better than mine, is that Full Auto is making tons of use of this. Now, if you fought against, other Spawn players, particularly the one, they're going to use this all day long, right? Because it converts to their hugely damaging combos, leaves them safe, so on and so forth. You don't see me using as much because I'm greedy, because I want this combo. I'm like, give it to me, give me that invisibility. I love it. Right, but if you do want to play safe, doing this absolutely is great and very effective. As you can see Full Auto doing, I definitely need to incorporate that more into my gameplay, and I again truly hope that you can watch him play. It was eye-opening. Also, I tend to only use this string in neutral situations where I've gone invisible. So, like, I don't just throw it out normally. I go invisible and then I use it because, you are telegraphing a bit. As you move across the screen. But you might have noticed that a couple times Full Auto just used it in plain neutral, meaning, wasn't invisible yet, was just using it to close with Kerbo. And, it does work. It is pretty quick, and obviously you get that, combo off of it. You might have noticed, if you know Spawn's Punch as well, that Full Auto is also doing the max damage version using a jumping 2 instead of a jumping 1. Jumping 1 keeps him a little bit higher in the air, is a little bit easier, but the jumping 2, does work. One final thing you might have noticed, and this was something that I brought up in my match videos, is that, obviously if you hit with back 1, 2 on a grounded opponent, you can get the chain, no worries. If you even just hit with the second part, getting the chain, still fine, all good, right? What makes it different is when the opponent is jumping, and I mentioned that you have to do a modified combo, because if you hit them like that and then go into, try to go into 2-4 to get the chain grab, you're not going to get it. Like, it's gonna seem like you might, but you won't. If they're really, really high, I want to say, like, I think maybe I did get it once, but they got to be super high, and you got to, like, get in with that 2-4 right away. I think barely moving, but you can see, like, it's generally not going to happen. Now, as I also said, if you just hit with the 2 parts, so like if they're airborne and you just hit with like the claw part, then you're fine. Then you're getting no worries. And I bring this up because there was a moment where Full Auto turn invisible hit Kerbalicious while Kerbalicious was in the air with the back 1-2. You could see it from the animation, from the way Kerbalicious bounced, Kerbal bounced. But then there was no follow-up. And that's because, again, if you hit with both, your follow-up is different. I tend to do that, which is a down 1 into War Club. Now, doing a down attack into a back forward motion, I personally do find a bit tricky. I had to learn it in order to have an option there. You do have other choices, don't get me wrong, like, if they're close enough, you can get there. Like, you saw me, like, getting there like this, right? But that's if they're really high. Like, if they're super low, like, which is when you're normally going to snag them when they're, just leaving the ground, even that's kind of high. But, like, this is more where you're generally going to be hitting them, like, right, like there, like right as they're leaving the ground, or maybe like right as they're landing, because maybe you whiff punish too soon. And in those cases, like, dashing up and getting the 2-4 or another string is really tough to do. So I personally like just dashing in, doing down 1 into special cancel of War Club. So that is your modified combo if you hit someone in the air, down 1 into special. Another thing that I wanted to show, that's something that I do a lot, which I really like with this character. You didn't get to see me do it in my matches because, I'm still learning the character, but 3 is this insane anti-air. Like it's so good. Like this anti-air, I mean, look at this coverage. Look, this is ridiculous, the hitbox on it. Like, it's just so good. So good, right? And of course, I say so good and then I get hit on it, right? But it is overall a very good anti-air that really does catch, especially if you just have any little timing. You can see me like actually focus on doing it, hitting it like every time now, right? Okay, so why is this great? Well, 1, it's amazing because, well, it's just great anti-air. But 2, boom. So I know that before there were concerns about, you know, like, when am I going to be able to turn invisible with this character? And sure, true, like most times you're turning invisible, it is because you're hitting with, you know, back 1, 2. But that's really not the only time. Like, a lot of opponents do jump, and anti-airing with that into the command grab is just, it feels great. It's so fun. You know, obviously you're not getting the sort of damage the 1 gets. I mean, the 1 could do standing 3 into the charge, into like a full combo. It's crazy damage. But, you know, with this character, it's not a damage character. It's a setup character. And it's cool to me that you can get the invisibility. It is also possible with like a deep jump kick to get it, to jump in and then do 1-1, because 1-1 really kind of floats them up. So, you know, jump kicks people are still using to a degree, even though they're, you know, not as plus as they used to be back in the day. That was a previous patch. But you can still, you know, get something out of it, and you don't have to be, you know, that close. It is also possible if the opponent is jumping, just as like a final thing, like if they're hopping or jumping, and you catch them like right as they're about to like jump. So you know, a lot of times you'll be, you know, getting with a poke, and then like there, boom, look at that. So there really are some interesting ways that you can get into the command grab that you may not normally think. But overall, you know, like I said at the beginning of this video, I know it's been a long wait, but that really is because it took me a while to figure out what I was doing with this character. But I do feel good about where I'm at with this character now. I'm not as good with him as I'd say I'm with like Totemic or something, but I truly do hope that what I have showed in these match recordings, both my own and full autos, and of course shout outs to full auto and Kerbo for, you know, just being amazing players, and, you know, like us getting to enjoy watching them play tournaments and watching their recordings. You know, full props to them. But I really do hope that this video has helped. If there are any questions, as I said earlier, feel free to ask, feel free to let me know. I am planning to put together some other videos about the bust of Totemic, and also another character that I want to discuss. But this was Spawn. If you have more Spawn stuff, things you want to see, stuff you have questions about, all you have to do is ask. Once again, all the best with your playing.